All right, good morning everybody. Warmly welcome to Karlberg Castle. Particularly warm welcome, of course, to my good friend and colleague Rustem, Umerov, the Minister of Defence for Ukraine. Supporting Ukraine is Sweden's #1 security priority, but I think that our relations are growing. This is not about supporting, this is building a true and strong partnership between two countries, and it goes in a two-way street, so to speak. We have during this morning been discussing how we can develop and shape this partnership and our support. We have met yesterday representatives also from the Swedish Defence Research Agency and also our procurement agency, FMV. Later on today also we're going to be having discussions with several representatives of the Swedish defence industry. Sweden's strong defence industrial base is a great asset for us also when we are collaborating and operating with Ukraine. Let me also say that we are well over 1,000 days into the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, an illegal invasion, and we can also note that Russia hasn't achieved any of its strategic objectives and that they are having casualty rates which is unsustainable. The Russian escalation and provocation, also that we've been noticing recently, is also an attempt to scare us to support Ukraine, and that will fail. This will not happen, that Russia can scare us from continuing supporting Ukraine, because supporting Ukraine is both the right thing to do and it's a smart thing to do, and it's an investment into our own security, because your security is also our security. Now, the planned Swedish support for Ukraine for 2025 and 2026 is about 25 billion Swedish krona for next year and the year after. And we stand ready to do more if needed. Let me also say that we can today also announce that we have a deepened cooperation. The Swedish government is ready to contribute with substantial funding for the mass production of long-range missiles and drones. We will support the Ukraine defense industry by funding the procurement of these long-range missiles and drones, which will be donated afterwards to the Ukrainian defense industry. And here we're using the Danish model, which we can invest through, and also we've been seeing very good results, and Rustem, we had good discussions with this in Copenhagen, the impressive amount that you are ramping up your own national production of defense equipment as well. And just stating the obvious, of course, Ukraine has the full right in accordance to international law to defend itself inside and outside of its territory. And we're glad if we can further develop both your capability to produce long-range missiles and also long-range strike troops. Rustem, please.
Yeah. Dear members of press, dear Paul, dear colleagues, thank you very much for having me today. Thank you for your invitation, and I'm grateful to the great Swedish nation, leadership, and Minister for the support that you've been providing us for the last 33 years, 10 years of war, and 2.5 years of full-scale invasion. The situation in the front lines of the unprovoked Russian war against is difficult. Russia is attempting to gain territories with huge losses and equipment in manpower. That's why they invite the PRK. We are resisting against the new axis of evil and want to thank Paul and Swedish government for their firm support. Your country has provided us already more than 4.7 billion in military aid, for which we're thankful. To you, you first announced the provision of air surveillance and control aircraft for Ukraine, for which we're thankful. It will give us additional capability, and CV-19 infantry fighting vehicles. You're also a part of maritime armor, Air Force drone demining and IT coalitions, which is very important for us to support our capability. We're trying to consolidate our efforts in defense industries, and we're trying to make as much as possible support for both countries to have joint ventures, defense investments, and we also are prioritizing the next year additional brigades formation. We're addressing it to all partners, and we're thankful for the new domains capabilities that you provide to us. So with this, I would like to thank once again Minister Paulson for the support, the leadership of Sweden and people of Sweden for their firm support to us. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ministers. And we will now open up for questions from the floor. Channel 4.
Yes, I would like to clarify, what's your reaction to the maps Russia is spreading of a divided and diminished Ukraine, where, for instance, Crimea is Russian territory and Kiev is a pro-Russian territory?
I don't understand the question. Can you clarify once again?
There are maps spreading where the Ukraine is divided into 3 sections. One is Russian territory, one is pro-Russian territory, and one is sort of up for debate. And then up for debate is to the left. What is your reaction to this?
It was Russian foreign policy towards the last centuries, always tell the lies. So it is continuation of their propaganda. We are firm. We focus on our internationally recognized borders. And as we say, Russia tells the truth when lies finish. So.
How do you see the support from Europe? I mean, you're thankful for what Sweden has provided, but how do you look at the support from the rest of Europe?
Look, the GDP of United Europe is so big that we have to be always firm on what we protect. It's our civilized world, it's our values, and we're thankful to each nation that was besides us for the last 2.5 years. We're thankful. It's a big support, military, political, diplomatical, and we will be working for the next year. We already started. We just had fruitful and productive 2 days in Copenhagen to discuss with the Northern Group, 12 countries, and Nordic Group, 5 countries, about the 2025 priorities. And as of now, all the countries are committing for the longer-term support. So we're thankful for it.
Are you worried what can happen in January when Donald Trump is becoming the president of the United States again?
No, I think it's American people choice. We respect it. United States is a partner of Ukraine, partner of United Europe, and its Euro-Atlantic partnership is very strong, so we'll be much stronger.
Thank you. SVT is the next question.
Good morning. What do you think about the possibility of negotiation with Russia within the near future?
We should focus on President Zelensky's peace formula, which united more than 100 countries. That set up the principles, that set up the verticals and the items for 10 items, 10 chapters that we need to finalize. And then there was a proposal of victory plan that has a defense package for Ukraine to defend its territory and a package for the deterrence. So at this stage, we need to continue to discuss it through strength. The peace through strength, that's the only language Russia understands.
Regarding January and Donald Trump, what are your thoughts on Zelensky's comments that the Ukraine will lose the war if you don't have the support from the U.S.?
We have to be strong. We always try as civilized people to divide each other. We're in unification mode. Transatlantic is a huge alliance, and we should show that we're protecting our alliance, our values, and we are strong. So that's why we need strong, let's say, proposals. So at this stage, US should be besides us.
Ja, är det okej om jag tar det på svenska? En fråga till Pål Jonson rörande det här nya stödet som presenteras idag för långdistansrobotar och drönare. Vad kostar det Sverige och tillkommer det till de här kostnaderna för 25-26 som du pratade om innan.
Precis, så vad vi har haft diskussioner om idag då, det är ju utformningen av vår ram som är 25 miljarder nästa år och 25 miljarder efterföljande år. Och vi kommer att återkomma i januari med vårt 18:e stödpaket och då kommer vi också allokera resurser till detta. Men detta kommer att produceras i Ukraina utav Ukrains försvarsindustri och finansieras utav Sverige. Och president Zelensky har sagt att de extra mycket efterfrågar finansiering just av långräckviddiga vapen och långräckviddiga drönare.
Finns det någon siffra du kan säga liksom ungefär vad det kommer kosta Sverige med det här stödet?
Vi ber att få återkomma när vi också presenterar det kommande stödpaketet. Här. Men när substantiella satsningar kommer att vara på stärka den ukrainska produktionsförmågan just på de här två områdena.
Jag har också en fråga till den på svenska. Men okej. We have 2 data cable breaches that happened last weekend in the Baltic Sea. Some of your colleagues in Europe call it a hybrid attack, while U.S. intelligence sources suggest it was an accident. What is the Swedish government's position?
Well, I don't have any further comment that the government has already provided. Now this is a police inquiry. They're investigating as a possible act of sabotage, and now it's in the hands of the police authorities. So I have nothing new to provide to what's already been stated from the Swedish government.
Yes, a question for you. Ukraine has, in the past, expressed desires to receive Swedish fighter jets. How do you see the possibilities for Sweden to send JAS Gripen to Ukraine?
Sure, if I may, that was also part of our conversation today, of course, what we're doing in the Air Force coalition. And and a donation of the Gripens is not in the hands of ourselves. It's pending on export licenses and also on the other actors in the Air Force coalition, predominantly Denmark, Netherlands, and also the United States. They have advised us to wait to donate the Gripen until it goes further with the F-16 as well. So now our focus has been on delivering of the IRI platform as well, which is a command and control platform that can control the F-16s and so. We also are doing donation to something called the Jump Up Fund, which is a fund inside the Air Force Coalition, so providing weaponry to the Air Force Coalition and also ground-based infrastructure. And I should also say, of course, in our last packages, we did provide the material sets for up to 14 platforms also to have the freedom of maneuverability to donate the Gripen if it would be possible. And the 2.5 billion Swedish krona set aside for that. Sorry.
What's your thought about the ballistic robot which Russia fired yesterday?
Rustem, do you want to start?
Can you?
Yeah, of course. What's your thought about the ballistic robot which Russia fired or tested yesterday?
It's already a second time they escalate more within this year. One when they send the DPRK soldiers contingent now they use the missiles. So at this stage we're working on increasing the capability, air defense capability, and we're working on replying.
We've seen throughout this war that Russia systematically is attacking your critical infrastructure and civilian targets as well, which is not in accordance to international law, which is very, very critical of. This seems to be some kind of signaling from Russia as well and trying to discourage us for supporting Ukraine, but that will not work.
First question about the Swedish aid to Ukraine defense production. Will Swedish defense industry be part of that in any sense, or is it just Swedish money being sent to the Ukrainian defense industry? Ms. Jonson, you may answer in Swedish, please.
Dels handlar det om den danska modellen som vi redan har bidragit med 200 miljoner kronor till, och då var det för att stärka produktionen av artilleripjäser i Ukraina. Och dels så handlar det om direkt industrisamverkan mellan svensk försvarsindustri och möjligen också ukrainsk försvarsindustri och eventuellt också etablering av produktion i Ukraina. Det är därför vi också kommer att träffa representanter från försvarsindustrin i Sverige här senare under eftermiddagen också.
We're thankful for all the donations and the support from Sweden, and we're working now with the minister to adjust our both capabilities so that we can create capabilities that could be in use of both countries in security and defense. And we're providing also to your industry the opportunities. As Ukraine, we are ready to provide you a 10-year agreements, long-term agreements for your investments. I think we are fast in making the scalability of some of the Swedish products in Ukraine, and we're working with your industry now.
If we go back to the map that's been circulated, which is supposed to be Russia's sort of future plan for Ukraine, and it's also rumored that they wanted to discuss with upcoming President, Mr. Trump. What's your reaction on that, and what do you see in the future if Russia starts discussing with Trump from such a map when reality is something different on the ground?
We're thankful for bilateral support that we have in U.S. and U.S. was always compliant with international order and international recognized borders of Ukraine in all of the resolutions, and we continue to work with the U.S. on this stand.
A last question. According to Swedish broadcasting company sources in the Ukraine armed forces, the front line is quite fragile right now, and there's a risk of a collapse in certain areas. What can you do to avoid that? What are you doing right now to strengthen the front line when it's obviously very fragile and military commanders are afraid of a collapse?
This is like 33 years I hear this story, that we always have to collapse somewhere. So we're defending our nation. More arms will come. More fiercely we would outbeat all and repel all the attacks. So daily there are 160 to 180 engagements daily. There are more than 100 missile attacks, more than 100 kamikaze attacks per day. So, and we've been doing it for the last 1,000 days. So, as I said, the situation is hard, but it is under control. Russian propaganda is using all the opportunity worldwide to manipulate, to falsify. We are on the ground, and we are defending our country.
Okay, thank you very much. This concludes this press event. Thank you.
Thank you.